1. Introduction. My name is Bertha. I am 25 years old. This is my story. It is about a big surprise in my life. It is also about a hard lesson I learned. Before this story started, my life was very quiet. I worked in a small cafe in the city. I liked my job. I made coffee and I talked to the people who came in. My days were mostly the same. I went to work, I came home, I read books, I watched TV. It was a simple life, a little bit slow sometimes. But I had a dream. I dreamed of finding true love, not just any love, but real love like in the old movies. I wanted someone special to share my life with. I hoped that one day my quiet life would change and love would find me. I remember those quiet days well. The smell of coffee in the morning, the sound of the city outside the cafe window. I thought about love a lot. I saw happy couples walking in the park or sitting together in the cafe. I wished for that for myself. I was a romantic person. I believed that true love was possible for everyone, even for a girl like me who worked in a small cafe. Then, one day, something changed. It was a Tuesday, I think. A man came into the cafe. He was new. I had not seen him before. He was tall. He had kind eyes and a nice smile. He ordered a black coffee. He did not say much that first day, just thank you. But he came back the next day, and the day after that. Soon, he was coming to the cafe every day. We started to talk a little, just small things at first. About the weather or the coffee. He was polite. He seemed friendly. My quiet days were not so quiet anymore. I started to look forward to seeing him. My heart felt a little different when he came in. I did not know it then, but this new person coming into the cafe was the start of everything. My life was about to change in ways I never expected. This is how my story, the story of the big surprise and the hard lesson, began. 2 sweet days. He came back to the cafe the next day, and the next day too. He became a regular visitor. We started to talk more often. He was polite and funny. I liked talking to him very much. After about 1 week, he asked my name. I told him it was Bertha. He smiled and said his name was Jack. Then he asked me if I would like to have dinner with him on Friday. My heart felt very happy and excited. I said yes immediately. I felt so happy when Friday came. I chose my best dress for our dinner. Our first date was like a dream. We went to a nice Italian restaurant. We sat and talked for many, many hours. He listened carefully when I spoke. He told me about his job. He said he worked in business and had a big job. He seemed very smart. He made me laugh a lot during the evening. After that first date, we started to see each other often. We went on more dates. We walked in the park together. We went to the cinema. We had more dinners. Jack was always a gentleman. He was very kind to me. Sometimes he bought me small flowers and they made me smile. He sent me texts in the morning to say good morning and at night to say good night. It felt very special. He often told me that I was beautiful. He said that I was a special person. When he said these things, I felt wonderful. I felt like a princess in a story. I thought, this is it. This is real love. Everything felt perfect. I believed I had found the true love I always dreamed about. The days were sweet and full of happiness because of him. 3 little questions. Time went on. Our sweet days continued, but slowly I started to notice things. Small things at first, like little questions in my head. We saw each other often during the week. We had dinner, went for walks, or just talked for hours. But on Saturdays and Sundays, Jack was always busy. He had reasons, of course. He said he had important work to finish. Sometimes he said he had to visit his old parents who lived far away in the countryside. I believed him. Why would I not? Everything else felt so right. Another thing I noticed was that he never stayed the whole night at my small apartment. He always had to leave. Sometimes it was late at night, sometimes very early in the morning. He always had a reason. I have an early start, he would say, or I must get home. It was strange, but I did not say much. I also wanted to take photos of us sometimes. Just simple pictures on my phone to keep the memories. But Jack did not like photos. Every time I asked, he said no. Oh, I don't look good in pictures. Or, I don't like having my photo taken. This was strange too. Most people like photos, especially when they are happy. And I never met his friends. He never talked much about them. I also never met his family, only hearing about his old parents who lived far away. He did not talk about brothers or sisters. It felt like his life outside of me was a little bit secret. Sometimes his phone would ring when we were together. He would look at the screen and his face would change a little. Sometimes he did not answer the call. Other times he would leave the room to talk. He spoke quietly. When he came back, I would ask who it was. He always said, "Oh, just a work call, very boring." These things were like small clouds in my happy sky. The busy weekends, leaving at night, no photos, no friends or family, the quiet phone calls. Each thing alone was maybe nothing, but together they made a small, strange feeling inside me. A little worry started, very small, but I did not want to think bad thoughts. I told myself, maybe he is just a private person. Maybe his work is very important. Maybe his family is far away. I tried to push the questions away. I wanted to believe everything was perfect. Because when we were together, Jack was wonderful. He made me feel so happy and special. So I pushed the little questions down and enjoyed our time together, waiting for the day he would say those big, important words. 4 big words. Sometimes Jack's phone would ring. It happened often when we were together. He would look at the screen quickly. Then he would not answer it, or he would get up and go to another room to talk. He always said it was just work. He said the calls were boring and not important. He did not want me to hear them. It felt a little strange, but I tried not to think about it. I told myself he was just a man who liked his privacy. We had been seeing each other for about 2 months, 2 happy months mostly. One evening we were walking by the river. The sun was going down and the sky was orange and pink. It was a beautiful moment. We stopped and looked at the water. He turned to me. He looked into my eyes. His smile was soft. Then he said the words. The 3 words every person dreams of hearing. He said, "Bertha, I love you." My heart jumped inside my chest. It felt like it flew up into the sky. I was so happy I could not speak for a second. Then I said, "Oh, Jack, I love you too." It felt so real. It felt like the beginning of everything good. After that night, our talks changed. We started to talk about the future. We talked about our life together. He talked about maybe buying a small house one day. He talked about having a garden. We even talked about getting a dog. These talks made me feel so warm inside. It felt like we were building something real, brick by brick. One day, he gave me a gift. It was a small, dark blue box. I opened it carefully. Inside was a beautiful silver necklace. It was simple but very pretty. He took it out and put it around my neck. His fingers were warm on my skin. He smiled at me in a special way. He said, "This is for you, Bertha. It means you are important to me. You are my future." I felt so loved. I wore that necklace every day after that. It felt like a promise. It felt like a part of him was always with me. I believed everything he said. I thought my life was perfect. 5. The shock. Jack told me he was very busy on Saturday. He said he had an important work meeting all day. I was sad because I could not see him. I decided to go out alone. I went shopping for a little while. Then I walked near a big park. It was a sunny day and many people were there. Later that day, I was at home. I looked at my friend Maria's social media on my phone. She was at a child's birthday party. The party was in the park I was near earlier. Maria posted many photos from the party. I looked at one photo. It showed children playing. In the background of the photo, I saw some adults. I looked closer at the people in the background. My heart stopped. I saw Jack. It was really him. But he was not alone. He was with a woman, and he was with 2 small children, a boy and a girl. They were standing together. The woman was smiling at Jack. She had a ring on her finger. It looked like a wedding ring. They looked like a happy family. Jack, the woman, and the 2 children. My Jack with a woman, with children? No, it cannot be. My mind said no, but my eyes saw yes. It was Jack with his family. I felt sick in my stomach. My hands started shaking. I could not believe what I saw. It felt like a bad dream. Was this real? Was Jack married? Did he have children all this time with me? The photo was clear. Jack was there. The woman was there. The children were there. They looked happy together. like a real family. My world stopped moving. Everything went quiet around me. This could not be true. Our talks about the future, about a house, about love. Were they all lies? Was Jack a liar? Was our relationship a lie? The shock was terrible. I just stared at the photo on my phone. Jack. His family. The family I did not know about. How could he? How could he tell me he loved me? How could he talk about our future? How could he give me a necklace? And have this other life, this secret life, with a wife and children, looking like a happy family in a park photo? The pain started in my heart. It felt sharp and cold. I felt confused. I felt hurt. I felt lost. I looked at the photo again and again, trying to understand, trying to make it not true, but it was true. The shock was real. Jack had a secret, a big, life-changing secret, and I just found out from a photo. 6. The hard talk. My hands were shaking very badly. I held my phone and called Jack. My voice was not strong. I asked him, "Where are you, Jack?" He said he was still at his important work meeting, that it was very long. I took a deep breath. Then I asked him the hard question. "Are you married, Jack?" There was silence for a few seconds. It felt like a very long time. Then he spoke. He sounded confused. "Bertha, what are you talking about?" he asked me. He tried to sound normal, but I could feel something was wrong. "Don't lie to me," I said. My voice was still shaking, but also angry now. "I need to see you, now. Come to my apartment. We need to talk." He did not argue much. He said he would come soon. He came to my small apartment a short time later. He looked worried. His eyes did not meet mine at first. He sat down, but he did not look comfortable. I stood up. I felt strong and weak at the same time. I had the photo on the table, or I just looked at him. I told him what I saw. I told him about the woman and the 2 small children in the park. I asked him again, "Who are they, Jack?" He looked at me, and his face changed. The worry became sadness and something else, maybe shame. He knew he could not lie anymore. He finally told me the truth. He said yes, he was married. His wife's name was Susan. He said yes, they had 2 children, a little boy and a little girl. My heart felt like it was breaking into many pieces. He tried to make excuses. He talked quickly. He said his marriage was not happy. He said he and Susan were like strangers now. He said he wanted to tell me, but he didn't know how. He said, "Bertha, I love you, not her. I wanted to leave her for you. You are the one I love." He tried to take my hand, but I moved away. His words were like sharp knives in my heart. I started to cry, but I was also very angry. "You lied," I shouted. "Every day you lied to me. Our time together, our talks about the future, the necklace you gave me, it was all a lie. You are a liar." He sat there looking down. He didn't say anything more for a moment. The room was full of my pain and his lies. 7, his other life. The next day was Sunday. My phone rang. I did not know the number. I answered it. A woman spoke. Her voice sounded tired and sad. She asked, "Is this Bertha?" I said, "Yes." She said, "This is Susan, Jack's wife." My heart felt very cold. I could not speak for a moment. This was the woman from the park, the woman in my friend's photo, Jack's wife. Susan said, "Jack told me about you." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said something that made my world stop again. "He always does this," she said. "You are not the first, you know." Not the first? My head felt light. All this time I thought I was special. I thought our love was real. But she said I was not the first. Hearing this made me feel very, very bad. I felt foolish. I felt small and stupid. All his sweet words, all our time together, maybe it was all a lie he told to other women too. I felt shame. How could I be so blind? How could I believe him so completely? Susan said, "Stay away from my husband. Stay away from my family." She sounded tired. I said, "I didn't know. I promise I didn't know he was married." She said, "They never do." Then she ended the call. After the call, I sat alone. The shame was a heavy weight. I thought about everything. The busy weekends, the secret phone calls, never meeting his friends. All the little questions I pushed away. Now I had the answer. He had another life. A real life with a wife and children. I knew then what I had to do. It was very hard, but I had to end it. I had to end everything with Jack. There was no future for us, not a real, honest future. He was a liar. I could not stay with a liar. I called him. I told him we were finished. I told him I knew about Susan, about the other women. I told him I could not see him again. He started to cry on the phone. He begged me. He said he loved me. He said he would leave Susan for me, but his words meant nothing now. They were just more lies. I said, "No, Jack, it is over." My voice was shaking, but my decision was strong. I hung up the phone. Ending it hurt very much, but staying would hurt more. Staying with a man who had a secret life, a wife and children. A man who lied to me every day. A man who did this to many women. I had to be strong. I had to walk away from his other life. 8. My new path. After everything ended with Jack, I felt like my small city was watching me. Maybe people talked. Maybe they knew something. I felt like everyone looked at me differently, like I was the other woman, even though I didn't know. It was a difficult time. For many weeks I felt very bad, my heart hurt. I cried almost every day. I felt so foolish for believing Jack's lies. How could I be so blind? I thought about all his sweet words and our talks about the future. It all felt like a bad dream. My best friend, Clara, was a great help. She came to see me often. She listened to me when I talked about how I felt. She didn't say it was my fault. She just said that Jack was wrong to lie. Her friendship was like a light in the dark time. Slowly, very slowly, I started to feel a little better. I knew I had to learn from this. This painful experience taught me a very hard lesson. I learned about trust. I learned that love should be open and honest, not a secret. I learned that I deserve a love that is true, not based on lies. I threw away the necklace Jack gave me. It was just a symbol of a lie. Now, 1 year has passed since that time. I still work in the same cafe. I still make coffee and talk to customers. But inside, I am different. I am stronger now. The sadness is not so deep. It is like a scar that reminds me, but it does not hurt all the time. I am more careful now about who I trust. I think more about myself and my future. I focus on my job and my friends like Clara. I am building my own path now. I am not looking for love every minute, but I still hope that one day I will find a real, honest love. A love that is not a secret, a love that makes me happy and safe. I know I am a good person, and I deserve that kind of love.